So the last part of your question is, now that you're in recovery, do you have a manageable set plan or routine that keeps you mentally balanced and not anxious toward food? So I don't. Not at all. Not even close. So I don't consider myself in recovery. And that's because I don't think I mean, my mind had this habit, but I didn't have the habit. It was like, at one point I also had hiccups, and now my hiccups are gone, but I'm not in recovery from hiccups. It was something my body was doing. Same here. Like, my mind had a habit and it told me to do a bunch of stuff to feel better, but I don't see life the same way anymore, and that my mind doesn't do that in the same way. If it does, I don't see it the same. So there's not a recovery that I'm trying to manage at all. It's a non-issue. And what I mean by that, again, is not that my mind never talks about food or weight or some of the stuff it used to talk about. It does at times, but I see it for what it is. If my mind starts getting anxious about food or starts talking about some of the things it used to talk about, I'm just so much more likely to see, oh, look at that starting up. It doesn't look like it's helpful. It doesn't look like it would be pleasurable. And even if it does look like it would be pleasurable, I know better. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a separation, a fundamental separation between how my mind is talking and what I'm thinking and feeling and who I know to be, myself to be, like what I know to be true. When my mind is telling me to do things that are harmful, I just know that that's a mind. And now I'm not, again, I don't want to make it sound like it's not sometimes emotional or compelling. And for sure, along the journey for people, it is sometimes. So again, I'm 10 years out. It's not a thing that much anymore. But along the way, there would be times when my mind would talk about it and say, wouldn't this be nice? Here's what you should do. Here's what'll feel better. And I was a little hooked into that. I still knew it was thought. I knew it wasn't me. I knew that was the habit mind. But, sometimes it feels a little more interesting than other times. So this is the journey we're on. Like, this is what we continue to see more and more about. And by continuing to explore our healthy nature, that no one is their habit, no one is an addiction, no one has this stuff. Our mind just talks about stuff, all kinds of stuff, habit related and not, and we're not that. We are not our thoughts. We are not our psychology. It helps that space sort of grow. So there's nothing to manage. There's nothing at all that I managed now or that I ever managed, to be honest, since this was over. It's just a continuing curiosity about how a mind works and what minds say versus what's true of a human being, and where my health is and where all of this other stuff is coming from. And when you get a little comfortable in that, everything changes, because your mind can say whatever it needs to say, and you just know that it's a mind talking more and more. And listen, even if I were to have a giant binge or fall back into my habit, it's okay. I mean, that would look to me like, oh, my mind got super busy and I listened to it. It wouldn't look to me like, oh, I'm off the wagon, I'm an addict again. Like, no, it would look like, oh, I had some moments. My experience got all revved up. I felt really uncomfortable and I did what occurred to me to do. And then my mind would settle down and it'd be done. Again, I don't mean like, I don't want to make it sound like I would navigate this perfectly. I'm just giving you an illustration of what this could look like. So honestly, there's no tracking, there's no managing, there's no day counting or year counting or anything like that. If it happened, it happened, because it's not me. It never was me. It's not you. It never was you. It's thought showing up that we relate to however we relate to it. And when it's there, it's there. And when it's gone, it's gone.